Every moment free from fear makes man immortal. Man's immortality is not living forever because that desire is born of fear. Every moment free from fear makes man immortal. When you break yourself of fear, your thoughts go on forever.
When has fear robbed you of an opportunity to grow? Everybody has a response, which means no matter who we are or what we do, this happens. Fear robbing us of experiences.
I've actually heard people say, this is when I'm going to start. This is when I'm going to get going, when one of these things happens. And you know what? Then there's always a new thing, right? You never really get there. And then they say, sometime in the future, later, not now, which will turn into never. This is just fear in another form. That's all that is. The voice of fear will lead you to a life that's too small. And you know this. You already know this. And the way that you know this is you feel this. You feel this conflict, this dissonance and tension when you're in that position, when you're doing something that's too small.
Here's the truth about fear. It's really easy to sit in a comfortable room and talk about what we could do and should do. And it's even easier to talk about what other people could do and should do. The truth is, if we're in their shoes with their experiences, we probably do the same thing, because fear is such a powerful force.
Abundance comes from a place of confidence. Scarcity comes from a place of fear. Breaking yourself of that type of thinking will change your life and change your world. In life, we don't get what we deserve all the time. We get what we expect.
If we do not have a way to reprogram our minds to overcome fear, we will never be successful at our own specific missions in life. But there's good news. You must name and reject your fear. You must name and reject your fear.
One of our biggest hurdles to become a great learner is fear. The fear of looking bad, the fear of the unknown, the fear of messing up. That's a huge reason we definitely prefer it in our comfort zone. The good news is anybody can learn to beat fear. That's a skill that any of us can develop. But the way that we do that is much different than you might think.
Why don't you write down everything you fear? Because your fears have the most power over you when they're in the recesses of your subconscious mind. That's when your fears are most dangerous. That's where they can control you. So the reason we do limiting beliefs in class is we got to get that out of our head, out of our subconscious, and put it down on paper.
2 ways to overcome fear. One is gratitude. I've found it impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. If I let my mind stop for a moment and feel gratitude, even in moments of despair and difficulty, it makes all the difference in my life. The next way to overcome fear that I've found personally is to be intentional in my decisions. Everything that happens to you in your life can either be the best thing that ever happened to you, or it could be the worst. It's about your perception of that.
You, with energy, all in as long as it takes, is enough. You don't need anything else. There's no other ingredients required. This is it. And you have these already.
Anytime someone has fear, the problem solving is completely turned off. But when we take action in direct opposition from our fear, something amazing happens. Neuron transmitters are created and built within our brain, turning off fear, creating pathways to fire off our frontal brain lobes. And when our frontal brain lobes fire off, we're able to do great things.
What can your mind do in 18 months if you free yourself from fear? Nelson Mandela spent 29 years in prison as a political prisoner, having done nothing wrong except express his ideology and philosophy. Every day while they made him chip stone, he remembered one poem by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, My head is bloodied, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet, the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Each of us is the master of our own fate. We can overcome fear with gratitude. We can overcome fear with intentional choice. And our perception drives reality. In life, you don't get what you deserve always, but you almost always get what you expect.
Every day, no matter who we are or what we do, fear is robbing us of opportunities to grow. That applying for the job and going through the interview process, those are good experiences whether we make it or not, and fear is getting in the way of that.
You can reprogram your brain to override fear if you name and reject your fear. Reprogram your brain with different thoughts and take action in direct opposition to your fear. If you do all these three things, guess what? You can do anything you set your mind to.
Life happens to us every day. We can decide what we will do with it. Let's all decide that we are the masters of our fate, that we are the captains of our own souls.